The game has been a little bit scuffed over the weekend. Psycho Man goes really darn low in the arena and community claps back on the Angela buff. Yes, hello everybody, welcome back to the Marvel Contest of Champions news show for Monday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a lovely weekend because it was the weekend of love. And the most important person you've got to love in your life is you. Love your damn self. Or something else in your life, I don't know. Do what you want. But something you should definitely love is a Contest Round podcast, where we discuss new Cavalier nodes and how we feel about them. Also, the WandaVision episode 5. We are one episode always behind because we like to deep dive them and spend a bit of time kind of like talking about them and impact, blah, 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 blah. But as well, we talk about can Kabam save Marvel Realm in the new update of 2.0. All links to iTunes, Podcast, Spotify, and SoundCloud are in the description down below. Now, before we get into Marvel Contest of Champions news, just to say a massive thank you to those that support the channel through the medium of YouTube membership and as well through Patreon. Thank you so much for the continued support. You're on screen now. Thank you massively for the help. And as well, those that support over and watch my live streams at twitch.tv/RichTheMan live. And as well, thank you to those that do their Prime Gaming. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can give a free Twitch sub. Thank you so much to those that give that to me and as well support the channel. But also those that do tier 1 subs, give bits on stream and as well just help and donate and just being part of being there on stream. Thank you so much for being there and I look forward to seeing you tonight. But like, we're going to get right into new stuff now. For a lot of people, they may be wondering when they get into the Marvel Contest of Champions beta for 7.2, what the heck is going on? There's been a lot of stuff that's going wrong with it. I've had times where it's worked, times where it hasn't. I've taken off the game center. That got me in once, but I don't know if it is in conjunction with that either running or not. So if you're looking to get into the 7.2 beta, which, you know, you can try out some other content whilst you're in there, it doesn't have to be at the 7.2 beta, but a lot of people are seeing these kind of like champions not appearing. So this section here, you'll see that those champions missing. Happened to me a couple of times trying to get in, either errors doesn't go in. As I said, game center removing could actually work, but it seems like it's sometimes working, sometimes not. Speaking of things not really working too well, and I've had a lot of reports from people, and as well I've seen personally in first hand, a lot of issues this weekend. The game has been very much, well, inconsistent. I mean, that seems to be like a normal thing with MCOC. There might be some odd connection problems here or there. And it always happens at very peculiar times. This particular example here with David saying that he was jesting, got bumped up, and then it ended up losing his streak with some connection issues. And that's the thing. It's not like I'm saying that, you know, oh, you leave the game for an hour, come back, and it's like, oh, I have connection problems and I can't continue on my my grind in arena. This is a very instant thing. We talked on Friday about the Piggy bank being an issue, and Kabam had a response to that, which we'll go over in a minute. But there has been some very weird and janky stuff. Here's another example on screen with Steven saying, how is this fair? Game decides to crash right before the first Alliance Wars fight just now and has to reboot, which means my Alliance have lost a full attack bonus. He's showcasing here that they know this is the first fight. It's into their fight and then the attack bonus G. Like, but it's lost. Like, that's the thing. And Alliance Wars, funnily enough, and it's weird that he does put that on the 13th. Now, my particular issue in Alliance Wars this week, actually, funny enough, the 13th, was based on energy. And it's a very weird thing. Normally when I know my process, when I come into the game, I'm then able to get X amount of energy to then go and clear my path, which funny enough, it would be similar to the on screen here, where I go up to Mr. Fantastic and I'd be able to get up to at least the next one, even to the next attack like node. But for some reason, when I got onto Alliance Wars, the game crashed, and when I came back to get into the game, my energy, it literally was just zero, and I couldn't actually get to this first fight here. I could get up close to where my ally was, when someone from the Alliance had already moved out of my battle group to the fight that was right here with whatever champion it was. But I couldn't get any further. Like, I couldn't get to that fight. I then had to wait until about, I think it was midnight, and then I had to then come back the next day because I didn't even have, I had to go to sleep obviously, but when I come back, I wouldn't have enough energy to get to like even the center island or the midway point of the island. It's a very, very weird thing. So I think there was a lot of problems or weird things happening on the 13th of February, so that's Saturday, with Alliance Wars and maybe some other stuff with the game. And that all really comes true because, again, like, this was posted by David on the 13th of February. So I reckon there must have been something up. There's too many things coincidentally working as a problem on the 13th. So yeah, I'd be interested to find out if there's anything more to this that meets the eye, especially with server stability or stuff that was going on. And yeah, if you noticed anything on the 13th of February where stuff went wrong or there was a server error that caused issues, then put it in the comments section. It'd be interesting to find out if other players experienced the same thing. Okay, next up, and do we have any update with the Spider-Ham's piggy bank? Well, not really. I thought that this was a pretty big problem, especially for those that wanted it. I mean, I'm not really interested in it, but here's the thing, like, you'd expect things to be working, especially something that was causing so much an issue back in December, had to be taken off the development shelf in order to be properly repaired before bringing back live, which, look, it did in the last week. But even as I showed, like, it's broken. On Friday when I did the video, it was a case that it was broken. And even Kabam was saying that, what was it like? You have a 2-hour window just to try and gather a bit more information to pass to the team. How soon after filling up the piggy bank did it occur? Does this happen within the 2-hour limit after filling up the piggy bank? And the answer is yes. Like for me, this was in like 5-10 minutes before it just like restarted again. And it's meant to be a 2-hour window, which is kind of like, I don't even remember a timer being there. And it's annoying because I have had to, I do delete a lot of the raw footage that I take, especially because Marvel Contest Champions News is like it's a 40 to 1 hour raw recording, which is then edited down to either anything between 10 to 15 minute show. So it's a case that with that, it still would be within those 2 hours. And that's the thing, I don't like procrastinate, right? I want to kind of get this made and up before there's new stuff to cover, changes, developments and stuff like that. Either way, it is broken and other people are saying it's broken as well. Kabambu following right with, thank you for your reports. Now please know that when you reach 100%, you do only have 2 hours to make the purchase, otherwise your progress will reset. Note the little timer above the piggy you bank. Yeah. Please continue to, yeah, it's like but it is broken. That's the thing. And that's the thing, everybody's saying it. This morning was the second time I reached the max requirement piggy bank. When I went back to purchase the rewards, it was zoned out. This event should be taken out and fixed again, or just give us the rewards as compensation. Well, I don't think they're going to do that. It's wishful thinking. It resets immediately after 80. There's no 2 hours. Yep, there you go. Yeah, it's like it is definitely broken, and I've even proved that myself, and yeah, it just needs to be sorted out. This is a cool concept, but it seems clear the piggy bank is causing too many problems. Please allow us to opt out. I'm not going to buy, and it's causing tons of issues. I agree. It's just not working. I just don't know if it's overly worth people's interest, especially from what you're spending money on, and yeah, it's just broken. We'll have to see what happens to that, but I just don't know why it's not been addressed as being broken, because it is broken. It absolutely is broken. Okay, now let's quickly talk about the Angela buff criticism. Now, here's the thing. I don't really mind, I don't really care which champions are buffed, just as long as they commit to buffing the champions as they've said. Which, as you know, Kabam stated, there's different types of buffs. One is like moderate, value only, and as well like full rework. So there's, I think, three types there. So Angela's receiving a value only update. That means that will be changing some numbers, but not adding new abilities or modifications to her kit, which is a little bit disappointing. But you know, we did a video on Angela pre-buff, and seeing the numbers does make you feel like you do want to see better numbers. I understand that there are other champions that need the love more than Angela. It's important to remember what each kind of update means. We've been very explicit with the types of updates and what each entails. I don't think War Machine or Storm need a value only update. They need something more involved. Agreed. That's going to be the biggest thing. Like a lot of the older champions that people go like, right, well, Iron Man needs a look into, needs a buff. The extent of rework will be to add extra things. With a game that's evolved the way that it has, you know, we haven't. If you kind of said to me back in 2014 or even actually 2016, hey, slow debuff, and you'd be like, what the hell's a slow debuff? Nowadays, it's like that's a necessity, especially with a lot of stuff like Kabam's monthly Cavalier node has something that champions have evading, as like more times they're going to be evading. So look, do you work into the node and have a champion that's got Incinerate and as well has got a shock debuff? Oh wait, hang on a minute, the skill line doesn't have a huge amount of champions that have those things. So therefore you go, right, I'll just use a champion for this that has got the slow debuff. So these are going to be like things that are needed to be added into certain kits in order to counteract some of the content, nodes, interaction, usage in things like Act 6, Act 7, that is going to be more to the champion that meets the eye. And I that's the thing. I want more from these champions. And, you know, Angela's good, but then, as I said in the video, she has been stripped out from the one thing that she'd be really handy for. Command, like, you know, even, what's the word, hypocritical to a degree, because they kind of go, right, we don't want to see big massive numbers from Angela. Is that because Angela was kind of being utilized on aptitude bonuses for Cosmic node and as well for the buffed up node? Oh yeah, oh, we've now removed that, so Angela's now not going to be used for that. It's like, oh god. Well, why are you buffing her then? What's the point? But yeah, look, any champion needs a buff. Any champion really needs to be looked at, especially from 2000. Well, actually, there's some duff champions that were put in the last year. And Psychoman could be one of those champions that needs looked into, but we'll get onto that again in a minute. Either way, there's been a lot of kind of like toing and froing about opinions, especially here saying like in response, dude, please read what you're applying to. We've been super clear about what players can expect and how often you'll get each kind of buff. If we didn't choose Angela for value on the update, it doesn't mean that Iron Man would be getting a buff. He needs more love than a value only update, and we would only switch her out for another champ if that needs a value only update. And that's the thing that Kabam seemed pretty clear on and happy with the kit. It's just a case of like adding more numbers and damage output, which I get, but I just explained why it's kind of weird because they've removed all the stuff that she was being commonly used for. But anyway, we must end Marvel Contest of Champions news on arena results and predictions for round 2. Now, here's the thing. A lot of things have gone a lot lower than I thought they would, which is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. So down below are my predictions for round 2. Go and check them out with your eye faces. So here's the thing with the results. 300 position was enough at 35 mil. That's very, very low. Scary low really for that champion, but it is what it is. And if the champion doesn't interest players, then you're not going to go for a little baby man like that. Also, when it comes to like the champion up higher, like 230 position, shout out to King Cooper for sending through the info. 50 mil was enough for 234 position. So you can really see the difference. It's a ridiculous like jump to go from 50 to 30 in just 66 positions. What is that all about? 66 positions, and there is a massive drop by 15 mil. God, man, 15 mil to drop in 66 positions. But it is what it is, and it was what it was. When you get down to the 4-star, it gets crazy again. 6 mil to get a Psycho Man at 795 position. Honestly, just I honestly don't know what to say. I've never seen it like this, and I don't know if there's been more of less of a grind over the weekend, especially because I've seen some like numbers with Alliance War seasons dropping very strangely. I don't know if people are not playing quite as much at the moment. I really don't know, but you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It was what it was, and that was the arena results and predictions. And that has been Marvel Contest of Champions news. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out some other content located up there and over there, and I will see you later on for another video today. Not quite sure what it's going to be, but yeah, look out for that, and bye bye.